Assalamualaikum to sir and everyone. Today our group, which is group 3, will be presenting about Malaysia's national human resource development.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Nur Afika binti Zainuddin and I will be presenting the answer for question A based on the article Does Malaysia practice National Human Resource Development? Okay, National Human Resource Development or NHRD refers to the government effort to build and develop the knowledge, skills and capabilities of its people to support national progress. In Malaysia, the development of NHRD can be understood by looking at the 5 years national plans where each phase reflect the priorities and challenges at that particular time. Okay, for phase 1, it took place from 1965 and 1980 where Malaysia was still in the early stage of nation building after independence. The priority at this time was to ensure that the country had enough workers to support economic growth. Okay, in the article, human resource development during this period was described as population, labor force and manpower development, which shows that the focus was on labor quantity rather than the quality. There are 3 key themes in this phase. The first one is workforce and population management. The government wanted to balance population growth with economic resources, ensuring that there are enough workers for agriculture and early industrial activities. To support this, the National Family Planning Program was introduced in 1966. This program encouraged families to plan the number of children that they had so that household income, education access, and national resources could be balanced. Another key theme was the expansion of basic education and literacy. The goal here was to create a literate workforce. In the article by Devadas, it states that the education during this period aimed to produce a literate labor force rather than specialized or professional talent. To support this, the government built many new primary schools, especially in rural region, and strengthened the use of Bahasa Malaysia as the national language. This helped improve literacy and supported social unity, but it still did not yet develop advanced skills. Phase 1 also emphasized rural development and inclusion. Since most Malaysians live in rural areas, improving rural livelihood was necessary to ensure everyone could participate in the economy. A clear example of this is the Felda Land Settlement Scheme, which provided land, housing, and basic training for rural families to cultivate rubber and palm oil. In addition to reducing poverty, the initiative allowed rural residents to participate in the initial stage of human resource development under the national economy. However, there were several challenges during phase 1 that limited the effectiveness of NHRD. The first was the shortage of skilled workers. Although Malaysia managed to increase the number of people who were literate and able to work, most of them only had basic education. They were not yet trained in technical or professional skills needed for more advanced industry. As Devaras explained, the focus at this stage was to produce a literate labor force but not skilled talent. The second challenge was the uneven development between rural and urban area. Schools, jobs, and economic activities were mainly concentrated in urban region, while rural communities' progress are more slow. This created difference in opportunity, which meant not everyone had equal chances to develop their capabilities. The third one is weak coordination between education and manpower planning. Education policies and labour market needs were not aligned, which resulted in mismatch between what citizens were taught and what the economy required. This led to early sign of skill mismatch, which continued into later phase. Even with these challenges, phase 1 played a critical foundation role in Malaysia's NHRD journey. It succeeded in expanding literacy, increasing labour participation and promoting social inclusion. Most importantly, This phase prepared the population for the next stage where Malaysia would shift towards skills and industrial development in phase 2 and later toward human capital and talent development in phase 3. So, in summary, although phase 1 focused mainly on manpower and basic education rather than high-level skill development, it laid the essential groundwork for Malaysia's long-term human resource development goals. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurul Atira. Today I will presenting about phase 2 of Malaysian National Human Resource Development, which cover the year 1981 sehingga tahun 2000. This was a very important period because Malaysia was moving from an agriculture-based economy to the industrial-based economy. Di bawah pemerintahan Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, Malaysia start to focus more on industry, technology and manufacturing sector. During this era, one of the biggest national goals was Vision 2020 introduced by Dr. Mahathir. The aim was to make sure Malaysia a fully developed nation by the year 2020, not just economically but also social and intellectually. Dan in 1991, the National Development Policy NDP diperkenalkan yang menggantikan New Economic Policy NEP. Tapi sebenarnya the main idea still continue to achieve economic growth while maintaining social equity or pembangunan seimbang untuk semua rakyat Malaysia. This phase included 4 major plan. First, fourth plan, Malaysia Plan 1981 sehingga 1985. Fifth, Malaysia Plan 1986 sehingga 1990. Sixth, Malaysia Plan 1991 sehingga 1995. Malaysia Plan yang ketujuh ialah 1996 sehingga tahun 2000. Each of this plan contribute to Malaysia transformation towards industrialization and human resource restructuring. Now, let's look at the main NHRD term during this period. First, workforce and labour market restructuring. The government wanted to build a skill, discipline and productivity workforce to support the growing industrial sector. This means Malaysia start focusing on technical skill, productivity and also attitude at work supaya tenaga kerja kita lebih kompetitif di peringkat global. Second, skill and technical training. During this time, there was a big expansion of vocational and industrial training institute like ILP, Mara Skill Center and Polytechnic. This institution helped train more technicians and skilled workers, especially for manufacturing and electronic industry. So basically, the focus was to reduce dependence on unskilled foreign labor and increase our own local expertise. The third one is balanced development. Another important focus was to make sure development is balanced between urban and rural area. The government tried to provide equal access to education and training supaya semua lapisan masyarakat boleh menikmati peluang pembangunan ini, bukan orang bandar sahaja dapat menikmatinya. Last one is partnership with the private sector. The government also encourage collaboration between industries, training institution and the private sector. The reason is to make sure that what students learn in training center actually match what the job market needs. Contohnya, company were encouraged to provide internship and industrial training for students to make them job ready. Of course, this space also comes with several challenge. First, maintaining national unity while promoting competitiveness sebab bila ekonomi berkembang cepat, jurang antara kaum dan wilayah boleh jadi lebih besar. Balancing rapid industrial growth with social integration to make sure the development doesn't leave certain group behind, reducing reliance on low-skilled foreign labor which become an issue as industries expanded, managing economic crisis, especially tahun 1980 recession and the 1997 hingga 1998 Asian financial crisis, which really test Malaysia economy and workforce release. In conclusion, page 2 was a turning point in Malaysia's journey toward becoming an industrialized nation through policy like Vision 2020 and the National Development Policy. So, Malaysia invests heavily in skill training, workforce restructuring and education. Walaupun ada banyak cabaran seperti krisis ekonomi dan kebergantungan kepada pekerja asing, Malaysia tetap berjaya membina asas yang kukuh untuk menghadapi era ekonomi berasaskan pengetahuan selepas tahun 2000. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Atira. And Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fahmi bin Mafiz. In this session, I will be presenting phase 3 of Malaysian National Human Resource Development, which took place from 2001 to 2015. This phase was a turning point in Malaysian HRD journey as the country began moving beyond traditional skill training and shifted toward a more strategic focus on human capital and talent development. It reflected Malaysia's growing ambitions to build a knowledge-based and innovation-driven economy where people's knowledge and creativity become the main drivers of national progress. This period represented Malaysian integration into the global knowledge economy and the development of a comprehensive human capital development (HCD) agenda that aligned education, labor, and innovation systems. S3 covers the 8 Malaysian Plan, 9 Malaysian Plan, and 10 Malaysian Plan. During this time, the National Vision Policy (NVP) and New Economic Model (NEM) emphasized innovation, creativity, and lifelong learning. The goal was to prepare Malaysians not just to work, but also to lead, create, and compete on a global stage. The first key theme is Human Capital Development, or HCD. In this space, Malaysia started to see its people as the country's most valuable resource. The focus was on developing a competent, knowledgeable, and innovative workforce capable of adapting to rapid global and technological changes. A good example is the National Higher Education Strategy Plan introduced in 2007, which reformed university curricula to strengthen critical thinking, creativity, and employability. This showed that Malaysia was preparing not just workers but innovators and problem solvers, which are essential qualities for a knowledge-based economy. The second theme is talent management. As Malaysia aims to achieve high income status, nurturing, attracting, and retaining top talent become a national priority. The government recognizes that a strong economy depends on strong people, particularly skilled professionals working in high-value industries. To support this, Talent Corp Malaysia was established in 2011. Its mission was to encourage skilled Malaysians working overseas to return home and to connect them with jobs in priority sectors such as technology, finance, and energy. This reflected a shift from quantity to quality by building a workforce that was not only large in number but also rich in expertise and innovation. The third then focused on labour market reforms. Malaysia realized it could not rely heavily on foreign labour forever. Therefore, policies were introduced to reduce dependency on foreign workers, rescue the local workforce, and align skills with market demand. The government also promoted lifelong learning and continuous upskilling, supported by initiatives like the Skill Development Fund Act, which provided financial assistance for workers to pursue professional certification or mid-career training. These reforms aim to make Malaysia's labour market more flexible, resilient, and competitive. And lastly, education integration. During this phase, Malaysia worked to better connect the education system with the labour market. The idea was to ensure that what students learn in schools and university matched what industry needed. This integration was achieved through closer collaboration between education institutions, industry players, and government agencies. It helped reduce skill mismatches, improved graduate employability, and built a stronger bridge between knowledge and productivity. And we go to challenges. One of the biggest challenges Malaysia faced was global competition and external shocks, such as global economic downturns. As the economy became more open and connected, Malaysia had to compete with other emerging nations for investment talent and innovation. This made it vital to constantly upgrade workforce skills and maintain competitiveness. Another challenge was the rise of the middle income trap, which refers to a situation where a country's growth slows after reaching middle income status. To avoid this, Malaysia needed to move away from labor-intensive industries and shift towards innovation-driven, high-value activities that generate higher wage and productivity. And the third challenge was the need for innovation-driven, high-value industries. While Malaysia made progress in manufacturing and services, there was still a strong need to expand sectors like technology, green energy, and advanced manufacturing. These industries depend heavily on research, creativity, and a highly skilled workforce, which are all key outcomes of effective human capital development. And the final challenge was balancing inclusiveness and competitiveness. Malaysian diverse population means that policy had to ensure equal access to education, training, and employment, while at the same time pushing for global excellence and efficiency. Finding this balance was essential to maintain social harmony and economic sustainability. Overall, pastry represented a major step forward in Malaysian national human resource development journey. It marked the country transformation toward a talent-based, innovation-driven, and knowledge-centered economy. However, it also revealed that achieving these goals require coordinated, inclusive, and long-term policy planning. Malaysia experience in this space shows the evolution from a skilled workforce model to a talent-driven economy, where education, labor, and innovation systems are closely integrated to support sustainable national growth. In conclusion, pastry from 2001 until 2015 was the era where Malaysia and HRD become synonymous with human capital development. It focused on developing people who could think critically, innovate, and compete globally, while also addressing the challenges of globalization, the middle income trap, and inclusivity. This space built the foundation for Malaysia's ambition to become a high-income, knowledge-based nation. So that's all from me, and I pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nurmahira Natasha. I will discuss the relationship between National Human Resource Development or NHRD and economic growth in Malaysia. As we as know, human capital development has influenced Malaysia's transition toward a knowledge-based economy. My points are supported by evidence from the Journal by Dividends 2022. NHRD and economic growth in Malaysia. National Human Resource Development has played a major role in shaping Malaysia's economic growth and socio-economic progress since 1965. According to Dividends, Malaysia and HRD strategies were designed to support national economy goals such as industrialization, labor productivity, and strengthening national competitive. The journal states that NHRD aim to develop and maintain a high-quality human resource to fulfill the economic requirement in resolving national challenges. In the early stage of development, NHRD focused on manpower supply, labor mobilization, and generating employment opportunities. These strategies were essential in supporting Malaysia's industrial and agricultural sector, helping to boost economic development during the post-independent period. NHRD during the new economy policy era period from 1971 to 1919, the role of NHRD expanded further. The focus on job creation and restructuring the society to reduce socio-economic imbalance. This helped address labor shortage, reduce unemployment, and maintain economic stability. The alignment between NHRD and national economic policy means that human capital development becomes an important tool to reduce socioeconomic inequalities, improve living standards, and promote social unity. This plays a key role in supporting Malaysia's sustainable economic growth. Influence of human capital development on knowledge-based economy. Human capital development later became the foundation for Malaysia's transition from a labor-intensive economy to a knowledge-based economy. From the 1919 onward, the focus shifted from labor quantity to labor quality. Malaysia began strengthening education, skill development, and talent enhancement to prepare the workforce for a more competitive and innovative economy. By the 8th and 9th Malaysia plans, the government aimed to build a competent, productive, and knowledgeable workforce to support the country's goal of becoming a knowledge-based and developed nation. This shift improved workforce skill and supported the growth of high-value industries such as technology, finance, and service. In conclusion, NHRD has contributed greatly to Malaysia's economy success by developing skilled human capital to support industrial growth, reduce inequalities, and strengthen economy stability. The continuous investment in education, skill, and talent development have enabled Malaysia to transform into a knowledge-based economy. Human capital development remains a key driver of Malaysia's socio-economic progress and long-term competitiveness. Next, I will be presenting on the influence of human capital development on or HCD on Malaysia's transition toward a knowledge-based economy. My presentation will explain how Malaysia shifted from relying on labor-intensive industry to building a talent-driven and knowledge-led economy, supported by strong human capital development strategy. From overview of Asian transition, Malaysia transition from a labor-intensive economy to a knowledge-based economy did not happen overnight. It was strongly influenced by the government emphasis on human capital development. Before the 1990s, Malaysia focused mainly on labor quantity to support industrial and agricultural sector. However, as a global competition increased, Malaysia realized that the importance of moving toward innovation, skill, and knowledge-driven growth. Focus on from quantity to quality from the 1919 onwards, Malaysia begins shifting from focusing on the number of workers to improving the quality of its human capital. This was done through investment in education, skill development, and talent enhancement. The journal highlights this evaluation clearly, starting that's by the 8th and 9th Malaysia plans. NHRD aim to build a competent, productive, and knowledgeable workforce to support the country goals of becoming a knowledge-based and development nation. To achieve this, Malaysia expanded higher education institutions, increased training opportunities, and promote upskilling and recycling program for the workforce. Talent-driven HCD framework, a significant step forward, took place under the 10 Malaysia plans. During this period, Malaysia formally adopted a talent-driven human capital development framework. This framework integrates three key components, which is education, lifelong learning, and talent retention. The goal was to enhance Malaysia's global competitiveness by producing highly skilled and innovative talent. The government encouraged continuous learning and supported professional development to ensure nation could adapt to rapid technological change. Key NHRD strategy for knowledge economy. Several NHRD strategies were implemented to support Malaysia's transition into a knowledge-based economy. This strategy include: first is developing a high-quality workforce capable of supporting innovation and high-value industry. Second, reducing dependency on low-skilled foreign labor by upgrading local talent and encouraging automation and high-skill employment. Thirdly is investing in skill, innovation, and lifelong learning to prepare Malaysia for emerging sectors such as ICT, biotechnology, finance, and digital economy. Through this strategy, Malaysia was able to build a strong talent pool with the necessary knowledge, creativity, and skill to support innovation leads growth. Impact on Malaysia growth. This human capital development effort successfully strengthened Malaysia's transformation into a knowledge-based economy. As a result, Malaysia become more competitive globally, attracted higher value investment, and develop new knowledge-intensive industry. More Malaysians gains access to higher skill and better paying job, contributing to improve socio-economic progress and long-term national growth. To conclude, human capital development playing a major role in driving Malaysia's journey toward becoming a knowledge-based economy. By shifting from labor quantity to talent quality, and by investing in education, innovation, and lifelong learning, Malaysia was able to build a skilled and knowledge-driven workforce. This transformation has strengthened the nation's competitiveness, supported economy modernization, and improved the socio-economic well-being of the people.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Islam Fitri bin Shamsul Fansuri, and today I will be sharing about the impact of National Human Resource Development (NHRD) on Malaysia's socio-economic landscape. So this presentation is based on the 2022 article titled "Does Malaysia Practice National Human Resource Development?" So this article explains how Malaysia's focus on developing human capital has helped the country to improve education, reduce the poverty, and strengthen the economy. So, in other words, by investing in people, Malaysia has been able to create a stronger and more competitive nation. Let's start with the first point, which is about the literacy rate. Over the years, Malaysia's literacy rate has increased to 92% in 2009. This is a big achievement because it shows that most Malaysians now have access to education and can read and write. So this improvement happened because the government invested a lot in the education and also the training programs. So the policies such as the education blueprint and lifelong learning initiatives help make education more available to everyone, including those in rural areas. This shows that NHRD has successfully given Malaysians more opportunities to gain knowledge and skills. When people are educated, they can get better jobs, earn more, and also contribute to the country's growth. Moving on to the second point, which is about reducing poverty. NHRD played a very important role in lowering Malaysia's poverty rate. So the government's efforts to create more job opportunities and to restructure the labour market helped many Malaysians moving from the low-income jobs to the higher paying and more stable ones. So as a result, the poverty rate dropped significantly over the years. So people's living standards are improved and many families were able to enjoy better housing, better healthcare, and also better education. So this also help reduce the income gap between the rural and urban areas. So we can say that NHRD doesn't just help people find jobs, but it also helps build a more balanced and fair society where everyone has a chance to succeed. Okay, now let's talk about the third point, which is workforce skills. In the past, Malaysia's workforce mainly consisted of unskilled workers, especially in the agricultures and basic industries. But through NHRD initiatives, Malaysia's workforce has changed a lot. Today, it is more skilled, knowledgeable, and also innovative. So programs like the Human Resource Development Fund, HRDF, Technical and Vocational Education and Training, which is TVET, and various skills certification programs have trained workers to meet the needs of the modern industries. So all of these programs encourage the Malaysians to keep learning new things and improve their abilities. So because all of this, Malaysia is moving towards a knowledge-based economy where innovation, creativity, and technology plays a bigger role than manual labor. So this transformation makes Malaysia more competitive in the global markets and also helps attract foreign investments. The fourth point, which focuses on the education investments. Malaysia's commitment to education is clearly seen in the national budget. In the 1960s, only 6.3% of the national budget was spent on the education, but by 2011, this number has increased to 23%. That is almost a quarter of the entire budget. So, this large increase shows the government's strong commitment to human capital development. The higher investment allowed for more schools, universities, scholarships, and also training programs to be developed. As a result, Malaysia now has a more capable, innovative, and productive workforce, which supports both economic growth and social progress. So overall, the journal highlights that NHRD has helped Malaysia achieve major socio-economic transformation through better workforce management, human capital development, and labour market reforms. Malaysia has seen higher productivity and also a better living standards. In conclusion, Malaysia's experience clearly shows that national human resource development is not just about training workers, but it is all about building a stronger nation. Through NHRD, Malaysia has improved literacy, reduced the poverty, and also developed the skills workers with increased investments in the education. So all of these achievements have helped Malaysia move closer to becoming a knowledge-based economy where human talent and innovation drive progress. It is also shows that when a country invests in its people, the benefits are shared by everyone, which is by socially or economically. That is all from me and my team. Thank you very much for listening.